Welcome to the Save Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Derek.
I'm your host, Dominic.
We are currently on episode 49, and we have a very special guest today. We have Nelson with Tacos at the Turn. He sells awesome apparel and loves golf and tacos. Make sure to give him a follow. Their handle is at Tacos at the Turn. We are super excited about episode 49 as we have Tacos at the Turn. Nelson, thank you so much for taking the time and hopping on our podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me on this Taco Tuesday. So I feel like I'm
I didn't even catch that.
How did that work out, huh?
Perfect.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm the perfect fit for the podcast,
Yeah,
Taco Tuesday. You guys like to talk about golf and food, so I feel pretty good here.
And I love anything that says tacos on it. So yeah, perfect fit. Tacos by the Turn or at the Turn. Taco Bell. Shirts that say tacos. Like, I'm all for it.
Well, that's what it says. I was going to say, first off, I love the name because tacos are, one of my favorite foods and definitely one of Dom's favorite foods. But I'm kind of curious how you came up with the name.
Well, Tacos at the Turn. So, I think first we have to talk about how I started golfing. So, it all started back on a small farm, right? First of all, I'm from Southern California. In the LA area. I live in what's called the San Fernando Valley. So it's a little bit northwest of Los Angeles, of the city of Los Angeles. So that's where I'm at. And, we have pretty good golf weather here. We get to play year round, but, it does get pretty hot in the summer, like high 90s. It might hit 100. So that's not ideal, but you can still get out there and play. And I started playing about 10 years ago. But I took a long break of about 4 or 5 years because, I'm not that good. And I was getting really, really frustrated, right? So I'd get out there and I'd be
very humbling.
It is. It's tough, right? Very, very humbling. And, I was out there and I was getting really upset. And I was like, what am I doing here? I'm not even having fun. So I just stopped playing. And then, of course, just like everybody else, started playing again during the pandemic, right? So I came back. And, this time I told myself I'm just going to go out there. I'm going to have a good time and I'm going to have fun no matter how I play, if I play well or not. So that's how it's been. And, when I came back to golf, I started like following all these Instagram golf pages. And I noticed that the game was changing. Like it was different even than it was a few years ago. So like it was like younger, it was like more cool. It was more casual. It was more diverse. I saw a lot of like cool brands with like, really loud colors and designs. I saw diverse brands like Deuce, Eastside Golf, brands like that. And then I ran across a brand called Los Golferos. I don't know if you guys have seen them on Instagram. So they make these really cool sarape towels, golf towels. You guys know what
I think they make towels. Yeah, I was gonna say I think I know what they're the towel brand company.
No, you lost.
But I don't know what is the difference?
So sarape is like a rectangular like shawl type thing, and you've probably seen it in like Mexican decorations that's striped and very colorful with like little frills at the end.
Yes.
You've seen that, okay? So they make towels.
Yeah, not to interrupt, but I think I got.
No, go ahead.
My sister-in-law got me one. I'm a huge diehard Vikings fan. She got me one from Mexico, and it's a Vikings shawl basically. And
is it like a poncho type?
There you go. And yours probably has a.
It's got a cover.
So it's kind of like a poncho. Yeah, I think ponchos are more. Ponchos are more like to be like weather resistant. Yeah.
No,
it's like a blanket that you wear over yourself.
Yes. I want one.
So it's pretty.
It's
sick.
a blanket with a hole in it, and it's like colorful and striped, and it's really cool. So these guys, those Golferos, they make towels out of that material, and they're really cool. So like that kind of inspired me. Like I'm like, oh, I see like all these cool brands and very diverse, and I wanted to be a part of that. So I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to start my own brand. Many times I had thought about starting a business and I just kind of like overthink it and then nothing ever gets done. So this time I was like, let's just do it. I started brainstorming, started a list. Well, first of all, I decided it was going to be based on my passion for golf and tacos, right? So the two things that I love the most. Well,
think
you
two
know,
of
I
the
love
things that a
my
lot of
wife and
people
my
love the
kids too,
most.
but
Yeah, yeah,
I think
you
a lot
can't
of
forget
people
about the
love
wife
golf and
and
tacos,
kids.
right? Right. So I had to base it on like two of my big passions, right? Golf and tacos, and how could I bring those two cultures together, right? So I started like brainstorming, and I wrote down first thing I wrote down. I'm literally looking at my list right now, and it said golf and tacos, literally. And then I quickly found out that that phrase was taken, right? And but the very next thing, the next idea was tacos at the turn. It just came to me, and I really liked it. I think it like rolls like really well off the tongue, and I like what it represents, right? So that's kind of how that came to be. Um, you know, tacos at the turn. It's where the two cultures of golf and tacos collide, and it's meant to be, you know, part of my identity, meant to be disruptive in a positive way, and just part of this new wave of brands that are out there that are making golf more fun and inclusive, and yeah, I just wanted to be a part of all of that.
So No Way and I were talking, and No Way is with Vibes Golf last week, and
Hmm.
we were kind of just talking kind of outside the pod. And we both kind of agreed that golf is in a really cool place right now where it's very inclusive. There are
Yep.
all these brands popping up. We're seeing more and more people of every kind of way of life get into golf, and obviously different ethnicities.
Right. Right.
So it's super cool to
Hmm.
see, someone like you who's like, hey, all these cool brands are popping up. How can I be a part of that? And then
Hmm.
bam, here we are. You have Tacos by the Turn. Your merch is great. And I love that you have Dodger themed
Thank you.
stuff. So I'm a big baseball
Mhm.
guy. I'm not a Dodgers fan by any means, being in Minnesota, but like, good God,
You
they're
like the
good.
Twins, right?
Unfortunately, yeah. Like
I
listen, if
think we
I could have,
played them a few weeks ago, right?
yeah, we don't want to
Dodgers, like
talk about that.
Yeah, we
we might have swept them. I think.
I think so.
I
Yeah,
don't need to
Kershaw
rub it in or
Kershaw almost
anything.
pitched a perfect game earlier in the year against
Oh,
us.
that was that game. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that was great. Yeah.
really hitting us deep there.
Oh, like it just works so well because everybody wants to have food at the turn and everybody loves
Mhm.
tacos. So you're kind of hitting the nail on the head in multiple places, but then it's also fun. It's still golf themed, but you
Mhm.
could just wear it casually. People to go, I agree.
And I want to just take a step back real quick because golf
Mhm.
itself is such a tough sport. I've said this several times, and I think for a ball that's just sitting still, it's arguably the
Yeah.
toughest sport there is. It's literally right there, and all you have to do is hit it, and it's all mental from there. But I kind of wanted to
Yeah.
pick your brain on what was the reason that kind of made you kind of hang the clubs up a little bit and just say, I'm going to step away from it. Was it hitting the ball off the tee? Was it peaking? I mean, because you said you stopped playing for a while and then you picked it up during COVID, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So, I'm not very good at golf. So I'll be honest with you guys, right? My current handicap is a 19. I've been as high as a 27 and as low as 17, but right now I'm right around 19.
Oh, we would have a
Um,
blast on the
but I'm
course.
okay with that.
Nelson,
Let's
you
do
and
it,
Don,
man. Let's do it.
hey, I don't care what handicap you are.
Hey, challenge accepted.
There we go. Yeah, we gotta have a golf off. But the reason why I asked though is because when I was a kid, I didn't really like to play golf very much because it was very difficult for me, and I just didn't really have the patience for it, and it was expensive, even and
Right.
it's time consuming. I think that uh, as far as we're saying, like the game right now is in a really good place, and I feel like
Hmm.
people are able to show their passions, whether it's Jordan golf shoes, for example. Now they have, we talked about
Hmm.
that on Instagram actually earlier today. You got the
That's
Shadow
right.
Grays.
Yeah.
I got the Chicago's. Like 10 years
Yep.
ago, you would have never seen that on the course. And I think, and I've said this before, but I think Ricky Fowler is one of those guys that definitely sparked that with his crazy colors. But
True.
golf is tough. So I was just kind of curious on why you kind of put the clubs down, because I feel like every round there is that moment where we play and we're like, what are we doing out here? Like this is
Right.
why are we, and I try to go with a
Yep.
positive attitude. I'm a pretty positive person, but yeah, it's a grueling game. It's tough, but so I kind of wanted just to figure out, was it putting? Was it driving? What was it?
It was a little bit of everything, honestly. Like, look, like you said, it's a really tough game. The ball's just sitting there for you to hit. It's funny because my son plays baseball, right, and we practice off the tee. And like,
Yep.
if he doesn't hit it right, I'm like, dude, the ball's just sitting right there for you to hit. Nobody's pitching it to you, right? And they're yelling at him. But golf is like the same. It's just sitting there, and we can't hit the ball right. So I think it was a lot of my personal attitude, like back in those days, where I was just letting it get to me, right? So I'm not good. So I should expect that when I'm going on the course. I'm gonna have some pretty good days. I'm gonna have some pretty bad days. So
Sure.
I think it was my attitude. But when I came back, my attitude changed. And I'll tell you why I think that is, because like during the pandemic, I'm in LA, we were on lockdown. A lot of places were closed, like we couldn't go anywhere. Basically, we were stuck in the house, right? And then this came up, right? Golf, like, oh, we can go out and golf. I'm like, great, I'm gonna get out there again, right? And I think there was sort of like like gratitude there, right? I was so thankful to be out doing something other than just sitting at my house, right? So I came back to the game with like more gratitude. And like I said, I told myself, I'm going to go out there and just have fun no matter what, whether I play well or not. And you know what's funny? Like when I was playing back in the day, well, the first time, right? I could not break 100. Like my best score was 100, right? I could not break 100. And I was like, well, we do like 115, 110, 105, but my best score was 100. When I came back to the game, I actually improved. Like once I got the rust off and worked on a few things, I was like 10 strokes better. So right now, now my personal best is 90. I know, not great, but I'm like 10 strokes better, and I feel like I'll break 90 like any day now.
I mean, 90's bogey golf, depending where you're playing, right? Like par 72, you shoot 90, that's bogey golf.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No, like I said, we don't judge here. Like I said, me and Don play together, and we definitely have a good time regardless.
The amount of time Derek yells at me on the golf course to keep my head down, and trust me, like
Positive yelling, though. It's
positive
reinforcement.
Exactly.
But yelling.
Yep.
Yeah, my handicap I think is like 19 or 20 or whatever. But I also don't really take it too seriously.
We're both right there. Yeah.
Yeah. There's plenty of times where it's just like I get up there and it just starts swinging and just like start putting, and Derek's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm bored. Like I just got to hit the ball and see what happens." So I think that's where a lot of my issue is. But if you look at golf more positively, you tend to do better overall, especially mentally.
Yeah, the mentality of golf is where it's at. I mean, that's where you have to be like, hey, I'm not a professional. I'm just here to have a good time. And if I peak, if I chunk it, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. How often do you play? Once, twice a week, maybe more, maybe less. I mean, at the end of the day, when we're not playing all the time, those things are going to come, that happens. So.
Yeah. Well, I play once a week. And I really don't practice because I have a wife and kids, so like, like I can't tell my wife I'm gonna go play once a week. I'm gonna go get a lesson once a week, and I'm gonna practice once a week. Like I want to stay married, so I so I play once a week, but that's it. I don't practice. I don't get lessons. It's just that once a week I'll hit the range like 20 minutes before, maybe do a few putts, and that's it.
What you need to do though is get a man cave, and then that's where you can practice.
I know, right?
You get one little room there to get a projector, and then you don't even have to. You could play once a week, but you're still practicing hitting balls when everyone goes to bed.
There you go. So I do have a net in the backyard. But it's not a golf net. So again, talking about my son playing baseball, we got him this baseball net, right? And I'm like, oh, cool. I can use this for golf too. And then the first ball I hit, thank God it was a foam ball because it went right through the hole into my neighbor's yard. So, so what I did is I put like I put like a piece of like a tarp behind it. So it just hits the tarp. So that's what I do.
So we definitely want to talk about your merch as well, but
sure.
I was talking to Don about this earlier. Tacos at the Turn is a fantastic name. Besides merch and starting your business, is this something that you're also wanting to advocate to certain golf courses, like maybe out in your area, like, hey, let's get a taco stand out or a taco truck or some sort of because I've been to Phoenix a few times and there was a couple golf courses that offered that, and there isn't really any here in Minnesota that I've seen, but man, it was a hit. And it was, most people were getting them before the round, but they were dishing them up all day, so you could get it at the turn, you could get it before your round, so it really wasn't holding anything up. Is that something that you're also trying to advocate for?
Yeah, like imagine having like an awful front nine and you're like, man, it's taco time. And then
Right.
bam, you get a taco or like a burrito, or in the morning you do
Mhm.
like a breakfast burrito,
That's what they were doing. Yeah, breakfast.
or you
burritos.
get like one of the really
Cool.
cheap walking tacos and just eat it, and then like a beer, like dude.
No, yeah, for
Your
sure.
thoughts?
I
Are you
mean,
advocating for this or not? Because I think you should be.
I am. So when I think about Tacos of the Turn, I say it's a brand, a lifestyle, and a movement, right?
I
So
love
we know the brand, it's the merch, right? And I'm trying to build awareness of that and grow the brand and the followers and sell merch, right? But then the lifestyle is like people coming together as part of this community of, people that love golf and love tacos. And I would eventually want to like have events with actual tacos at the turn, have outings, maybe start a golf club. And then the last thing is the movement. And I do want tacos at the turn to be like a regular thing, to be the norm instead of the exception, right? Because, we talk about, I know like a lot of the people that come on talk about disrupting, right? Being a positive disruptor. Same thing here. And, what's more disruptive for golf than trying to replace the hot dog at the turn, right? What do you guys think about that? Like people are so entrenched in that. Those that video that's been going around. I think it started by Part Train, and you guys probably reposted it, right? A bunch of pages reposted it with
Talking about the guy at
tacos
the baseball game.
No. I
yeah,
saw
yeah.
that one too.
Yes,
The
I
tacos,
reposted
the
it.
tacos at the turn. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a lot of the golf pages did that, right? And then I read the comments, and there was like different comments. Like first, people were all for, right? Some people were for it. Some people were like totally against it. Like, oh, I want my glizzy. I want my meat missile, right? And then there were those others that said that
I haven't heard the meat missile
pork
before,
missile.
I'm
My
not gonna
bad.
lie.
No. Yeah, I think that's something else. My bad.
No, it's okay. But
Pork missile. That's what I meant. Hey, don't tell anybody you want a meat missile, okay?
yeah, I don't
Not
know
on
if
the
that's
golf course, at least.
Yes.
I think I called Derek a glizzy gobbler at one point.
It's not. We looked up a glizzy, the definition of glizzy, and it didn't start like Massachusetts. They started on the East Coast. Didn't you look
Something
that up?
like that, yeah.
Because from here in the Midwest, to be honest with you, most people call it a hot dog or a bratwurst.
It's a hot dog.
It's a hot dog.
Well,
Yeah.
brats are different than hot
Well,
dogs.
Yeah.
well, they are, yeah. But I mean,
Glad you know
like,
that.
yeah. But yeah, glizzy is like a new term, and I feel like everyone just liked the name glizzy because it just stuck, and now everyone calls it a glizzy. But I feel like half the people had no idea what even a glizzy was because it was such didn't you? I thought we looked it up that one time. I think it was like some small region in the East Coast started calling it a glizzy,
You
and
know
that
who
just stuck.
knows? Google knows.
Yeah, I think you looked it up, but
It just has like an interesting sound to it, I think.
Oh,
And
it's
people
in
like to say it,
Washington.
right?
Washington. That's what it was.
DC.
Washington D.C. That's what it was. Sorry, I said Massachusetts. I'm completely
It's the same
wrong.
thing.
But
It's very much so not the
but
same
you're
thing.
right though. I posted and actually had a lot of plays, a lot of likes, a lot of comments, and a lot of people
Mhm.
really liked it. But then there was so many people that were like, "Oh, tacos are messy." I'm thinking, I will say I am in the minority here. I am a plain hot dog or a plain bratwurst type of person.
Yeah,
So
this dude eats them
Okay.
naked.
I will
Alright.
eat them naked. I will eat them naked. But for
Okay.
that reason, I also don't have to worry about getting my nice polo, my nice tacos at the turn T-shirt. I don't have to worry about getting dirty, right? Because it's literally
Right. Yeah.
um. And the other thing is we've talked about this several times too. If you're gonna eat it, you gotta use your glove hand. Take the glove off. Dom's rolling his eyes because he knows it's true. I tell it every time. Take the glove hand, and then eat it
Hey,
that
no
way.
glove, no love, man.
Because now you don't now you don't have to worry about greasy fingers. But I'm just saying, like tacos are messy, but if you know how to eat a taco, I mean, come on,
You can deal with it. You can
people
deal
love
with
tacos.
it, right?
It's
Yeah.
it's one of the best things to eat. So I am surprised why hot dogs and bratwurst are the number one ordered thing at a golf course. Why can't we share some love and have some tacos?
They're just easy. They're easy to make, and like I said, it's been the norm. Like I don't know how long, but it seems like forever, right? The hot dog at the turn. But and there's nothing wrong with hot dogs. Like I like to play that up, like tacos versus hot dog, and make this big thing out of it. Like, it's just for entertainment, like WWE. I'll say I don't like hot dogs, and tacos are way better. I mean, they are, but I still like hot dogs.
Hot dog. But the tacos are also probably, I mean, I guess you could probably fork up the price, but I'd say like nowadays a bratwurst is like $9 with a bag of chips. Well, you could get 3 tacos for $9 and be just as full and have a better experience.
Be happier at 3 tacos.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a cool thing about tacos. Like, they're pretty inexpensive, and you could get a full meal. Let's say 4 tacos and a drink, like a soda. I don't know if you guys call it soda or pop in your area. Well, what do you guys call it?
Yeah, we call it pop.
Pop. Okay, so you get like 4 tacos and a pop for like $10 to $12, which is really good for a meal, right?
For sure.
Get a good meal for $10 to $12. So there, a lot goes into making tacos that's not reflected in the price. Like, it's a really inexpensive food that's just great and delicious.
I will say the one thing that would be an issue with tacos, and maybe this is the reason why that there aren't too many places out there right now, is because you get onto the West Coast area in the summer and it's 100 degrees out, and nobody really wants to sit outside in a table tent with a grill and cook and I mean, granted, there's certain courses that you can do it in house, but a lot of these places probably don't want to sit in 100-degree weather and fry up some tacos. But you could get a taco truck where you're sitting inside. It's still going to be warm, but I'm surprised that there isn't more of these taco truck companies or places that are like, hey, we can set up shop right here and rent out this spot, and we could just fire off tacos, and there will be no wait.
Yeah.
Or with technology too these days, you can literally order. I mean, how many courses? Where we were at, where you can order online through the app.
What are you?
Where we played?
We played a lot of places.
Your favorite course?
The Wilderness.
The Wilderness. You could order the food on like this.
So they have like a touchscreen in their cart. You can order food, and then they'll find you using the cart GPS and bring it to you.
So you could either go that route, or you could order on the 18th and pick it up with the turn. So I'm saying there's like the technology is there, so there really shouldn't be a wait.
It is right. There shouldn't be an issue with the wait. I know those are some of the comments too that people made. Oh, it's gonna hold up the playing. You're gonna have like 5-6 hour rounds.
I don't think so.
There shouldn't be an issue with that. No,
I think it's a slow play by the golfer that takes. Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's a slow play of the golfer that takes 5-6 hours, not the tacos.
I'm okay with the 5-6 hour round with tacos. I'll sign on for that any day.
There you go. Hey, and then you had those comments, those people that said, oh, but then I'm going to have to take a crap by the 13th hole. Like, or they need to put porta potties. I'm like, dude, you can't control your craps. Like, what's wrong with you?
Get a thicker stomach. Hey,
like, you clearly are not used to eating tacos on a normal. You know what I mean? Like,
and then we're talking about hot dogs. Like, hot dogs are not like really, I guess, healthy for digestion in your gut, right? So they're not that much better. They're actually worse.
They take like 8 minutes off of your life, right? It's like worse than smoking
something
a cigarette.
Crazy like that. Yeah, I read about that.
Damn,
I think it's even really more.
You're gonna limit my.
I think it's like 20 to 25 minutes off your life.
Right,
but tacos add 20 to 25 minutes to your life.
They do.
There we go.
And happiness for sure, definitely. Tacos are. This is probably one of my favorite episodes because we golf and food is like the 2 major topics, and I can't wait to dive into a little bit more of the taco talk here. But so you basically started it, Tacos at the Turn, during COVID. Is that correct?
Yeah, I started it in February of this year, so it's very new still.
Oh, yeah. So you're really new,
brand new. This might be kind of a early question or premature question, but like, what has been like the coolest thing that you've experienced so far since starting Tacos at the Turn?
Just like meeting new people. like being on Instagram with the Tacos in the Turn page. People are really for it. Like they're buying into the movement, and you get to talk to them. Especially like in these beginning stages where I don't have like thousands of followers. I get to talk to a lot of different people, like message them, and even like meet up with them and play golf with them. So just like building that community from the ground up, or like at a grassroots level, and like meeting the people, that's been the coolest thing.
That's probably the coolest. That's probably our favorite thing too. We talk about this almost on every episode too. As far as the community is awesome. We talk to people from out of the country, all over the place. So as far as like, do you have like a home golf course that you play at? And if you do they have Tacos at the Turn? Do any of these courses that you play at locally have a taco place?
So I play the LA City courses, like the munis. So there's like 4 that are within 20 minutes or less driving distance. So I kind of rotate around those. None of them have Tacos at the Turn, though one of them has a truck that parks in the parking lot near the entrance of the golf course, like by the starter shop.
They're getting closer to the back. They're getting closer.
Yeah,
they're getting closer to the turn.
So, but it's not a taco truck. It's like a breakfast type of truck. Okay. But they do make tacos, but it's not like the tacos that we were talking about, like the authentic tacos.
Yeah. And I think if you're gonna do tacos, you gotta go that authentic taco, man. You do.
You gotta do it right. Yeah.
You gotta do it right.
No Taco Bell. You guys have Taco Bell over there?
Oh, there we go. This is where we're gonna really get into.
Is it gonna get controversial?
The controversial.
This is where you're gonna learn to hate.
Because this is you might love me, you might hate Dom after this, because I will say I haven't had Taco Bell
no,
7 or 8 years.
I went there last week.
I used to love Taco Bell. Don't get me wrong. I could tell you what I used to order. I used to order the double cheesy beef burrito.
Ooh,
which was good. Oh, it was money. But I haven't had it in a long time. I just don't. I mean, my wife is a Latina, and I get spoiled with all sorts of great food. So I have a reason. Now, Dom,
I don't have a wife.
Doesn't have a wife.
I'm not spoiled with food. Although I make a point to like mooch some of it.
Yeah,
because like her salsa. Bomb. Those little taquitos.
You bring your Tupperware to his house.
Yeah.
I listen. All I wanted for Christmas was a jar of salsa.
It's coming this Christmas,
and that's what I didn't get. So I was very upset.
Okay.
She's like, "Oh, it's kind of hot," and my nose was just running. And it was great. And then like whenever she makes flautas, yeah, I'm all for it. But I don't have any of that, so it's like, what's the next best thing? Taco Bell on the day.
Well, that's controversial.
That's controversial. That's fine. Yeah. It's okay. Everything like has a purpose, right? Taco Bell serves its purpose sometimes. Like I've eaten there. My wife actually likes it. But I've taught my son that Taco Bell, those are not real tacos.
Oh no!
So he says that to people. He says that to people like, "Oh, I want to go to Taco Bell." He goes, "Those are not real tacos." I'm like, "I taught you very well." But like I said, dude, there's nothing wrong with it. Every once in a while, it's fast, it's easy, it's cheap. And like I said, my wife loves it. So, I understand, yeah. Dom. It's all good.
I'm well aware they're not real tacos. I do like their chips. They have like really good like tortilla chips.
What's your favorite? I mean, like if you're gonna order, like if you're heading home tonight after, like if you're like, I'm on Taco Bell, what are you gonna get?
What aren't I gonna get?
Well, I haven't been to Taco Bell in 7 years, so I have
one of each, right?
Do they still have the Doritos? Yes. Doritos Locos?
Oh yeah, those are good. I like chalupas.
Okay,
chalupas are good. Otherwise, like if I'm gonna,
what I like? I think it's called the 5-layered burrito, or something like that. Is there something like that? That is the one thing that I do like from Taco Bell. I think that
with that
sucker's pretty good. Yeah, yeah.
And the price though has got to be relatively inexpensive.
Oh yeah, part, right? Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so
I will say before if I'm having like real legit tacos, I'm a sucker for birria tacos. Like I think those are good.
Oh yeah,
I would drink the grease juice out of it, just like with a straw. Yeah.
Those are
Now
so
you're
good.
talking my
Oh,
language.
good.
The only negative with birria tacos is that they're so filling.
There
that-
is no negative.
well, kinda, because like you feel like you want to eat more, and then you're like in a food coma because you're like,
What's
It's-
wrong with that?
well,
See,
you
there's
try to-
nothing
you try
wrong.
to get up, and you're like,
No,
"Ah,
I
I'm
get
gonna
you.
take a
I
nap."
get you, man.
They're a
Sometimes I
little
overdo it.
little strong. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
But I don't want to say that they're bad because they're amazing.
Oh,
I will give a little shout out to my neighbor who literally can make anything. He doesn't even work in any type of food or restaurant industry, but he basically took off a homemade birria recipe. Thank you.
Jesus.
And it
Mhm.
was unreal. It was probably one of the best birria tacos I've ever had in my life. But it was the same thing though. It's like they were so good that you just did not want to stop eating it, but you had to because you were
Yeah.
so full. But those are probably
And do
top
you
notch.
dip it? Do you dip it in the consomme each time before you
Yep.
bite it? You got to do that.
Gotta dip it.
You have
gotta
to
dip
do
it.
that.
Yep.
That or I ordered from somewhere and they gave me like little salsas. I'll dip it in the salsa too. I don't know what it was, but it was green and my nose ran and I loved it.
So let's talk about salsas for a bit. Because you mentioned, well, you guys tell me, how hot do you like your salsa? How spicy?
Hot as it can be.
Really?
Yeah.
So for me, it depends because I like them spicy, but if it doesn't taste good, I'm not for it. Because there has to be like a good balance of does it taste like salsa or is it just hot? Because I like good.
Like it's a
tasting
pure
salsa.
fire, right?
That's a good point.
No, I
Yeah.
feel you. I'm
Yeah,
I'm sort of in the middle. Like I wanted to have some type of kick, but I don't want to be like hurting, right?
You want to have a flavor, but yeah, see for me, like I hate to be warm inside. As long as there's AC on though, and I'm eating a taco, if I'm got a little bit of sweat with a little bit of I know it's a good salsa right there because I'm clearing out my sinuses,
right.
but it also has a little bit of flavor. So I'm a picky eater by trade. I've opened my food palate thanks to my wife, but I do love spicy food. So that is the nice thing. Like I'm not a huge onion fan or like tomato fan, and it's funny because my mother-in-law and my wife, if I see it, like then I don't like to eat it. But they know those little tricks where they can grind it up in a blender and make sure to hide it for me, and then I'm good. And I absolutely
There
love
you
it.
go.
So
Yeah.
they know me, so
That's
I am
funny.
pretty spoiled.
The funny part is this is exactly what Jordan wanted us to talk about. Was he commented, he's like, talk about salsas and he lived through us, and I was like, great.
Do you know Jordan from Odin Golf?
Yes, I've been talking to him a little bit. I'm actually
awesome.
going to their event this Saturday.
Oh,
Very cool. Yeah, you have to let us know how it goes
So they kind of sponsor the whole podcast. We've had Jordan on a couple of times, and the last time we went on about breakfast burritos for like an hour and a half.
And Jordan, so he's
Jordan
from,
loves to
where's he
eat
originally from? He's
California.
from California, yeah, and he's living in Berlin, Germany right now. And so we're trying to, we're in the early stages. We don't want to talk too much about it, but we're trying to have a tournament with Odin Golf here next year.
Okay,
but
cool.
His favorite thing is every time we listen to the episode is whenever we talk about food. I don't even think he really listens to the golf part.
No, I think as soon as he hears food, he tunes back in.
Yeah.
So what's up, Jordan? We're talking about food.
Exactly. But I want to get your thoughts on, we talked about this before we hopped on. We have the American taco, and then we have the authentic taco, right? And now your American taco would be like what we had at our tournament.
Basically Taco Bell.
Basically Taco Bell. You either have a hard shell taco, flour tortilla with beef, maybe chicken. Ground beef, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Cheese, lettuce, sour cream, sliced tomatoes. And then you have the authentic.
Did you
tacos.
see black olives? I
did not say black olives.
White
There
people
is that.
That's the Taco Bell special right there with the olives.
That's the white person special.
So the funny thing is like I said, I've mentioned it plenty of times, but my wife makes authentic tacos.
We understand it. We get it.
You understand it.
We get it.
But I never really understood what an authentic taco was versus an American taco. And when you say tacos of the turn, are you talking authentic tacos? What is your go-to taco?
It's the authentic taco we're talking about.
Okay.
Like, and look, I know the Americanized tacos. Like I said, there's a place for them. We eat those sometimes at home too. Like, make a quick snack or something. But when I'm talking about tacos at the turn, it's the authentic tacos. The carne asada, whatever, carnitas al pastor, birria, like we were talking about. It's those types of tacos with a bunch
Carnitas
of
is my
salsa
go-to.
roja, salsa verde.
Oh yeah, that's speaking my language. So so when you say authentic taco, you're putting one of those types of meats on, cilantro, chopped onions,
That's right.
your
Con todo.
salsa. Okay, and exactly. And then so for me too, I do a squeeze of lime.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Got to get the
Definitely.
lime in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, like I'm a huge rice guy. I love rice. So,
on your
like,
taco?
no, I don't put it on my taco, but sometimes if no. No, you never know though, because like
I've done it before. I've done it before.
I have done that before, but I like to test out different Mexican restaurants and try their rice because there's different flavors of rice. And so like normally I'll do either like 2 or 3 tacos and then I'll get a side of rice just to kind of test that out. Because a little
like the
rice with some
combo,
salsa.
right?
What's that?
Yep. It's like the combo meal, right?
Absolutely.
Like a lot of places have the combinations, maybe like 2 or 3 tacos and rice and beans, right?
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, so what's your favorite taco meat for like authentic tacos?
For me, my wife likes al pastor and I like carnitas.
That's great.
I'm a carnitas guy. But like I said, I'm not a huge onion fan. So normally, like my order would be 3 carnitas tacos, cilantro, salsa, because I do like it spicy, and then I'll order a cup of salsa, depending on what their hottest salsa is. I typically like.
I'm not a raw onion guy. They have to be in circles and fried for me to even like consider an onion. God, I'm not a carnitas guy because every time I have it, it's super salty and just makes me drink all the water. That makes me have to pee. So it's a really bad cycle for me, like just mentally.
Okay.
I love birria. Like I've watched my videos on how to make it. I almost went to culinary school. Like I'm very well, like I know how to do it.
You should make it for us here.
No.
Why not?
Because one of you will judge me.
Yeah, why not?
Seriously, we'll talk about the podcast. It'd be perfect.
I'll try it. But like birria or like steak, like I just love like the thin shredded steak that's marinated all day with the cilantro, the lime, the works. On like the corn tortilla that falls apart every time. It's like the best thing on earth.
I will say too.
Yeah, what's cool about when it falls apart? Go ahead. Good.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's cool when each taco falls apart, and then you have like the leftovers. Like that's almost like another taco or two.
I eat it with chips. It's like a dip.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
I was gonna say some of the places, depending on where you go, it's one tortilla or like one small tortilla, and sometimes they'll double it up. Depends on where you go. They sometimes will double it up, but
most of the places double it up because they start to fall apart. Especially like if there's like a lot of juices in there and the meat, like they start to get like soft and they break apart. But my favorite meat, if you don't mind me saying.
No, I was gonna ask you what was your favorite?
You read our mind.
So you guys might think this is kind of nasty, but it's a tripas. Do you know what tripas is?
No.
So it's beef intestine. So tripe.
Ooh.
Tripas tripe. And a lot of people will hear that and they'll say, "No, I'm not going to have that, right? That's too nasty for me." But it tastes so freaking delicious, dude. So it's so delicious. Like, I keep talking about my son. My son, like he hates all types of food. He only eats like burgers, chicken nuggets, and pizzas. And hot dogs.
Kind of guy.
Right? And hot dogs.
My kind of guy.
He loves tripas tacos, but he doesn't know what it is. He calls it the good chicken. He's like, "Damn, this is some really good chicken."
Like, yes, it is, son. It's good too.
So I've never told him what it really is, but that's my favorite meat for tacos, tripas. But you can't get too many of those.
Is that common? Like if you go to like authentic taco places or like food trucks?
It's pretty common, yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of common. Like it's not outrageous to see a place like a taqueria or a truck with tripas, but not everybody has it. I guess a lot goes into the preparation,
I will say going to like authentic Mexican restaurants or like food trucks are like my favorite. I have some family relatives that are out in that live out in Denver, Colorado, and it's the same thing. They take us out there, and it's like the food trucks galore, and it's some of the best Mexican food you've ever had in your life. You know, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then
Well, you know,
so I was gonna say, do you get a oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. It's a drink, comes in a glass that most people-
Margaritas.
no, it's a non-alcoholic. Looks like a like the
Horchata?
old. Oh, horchata's fantastic. I love that. But no, it's a glass like the old school Coca-Cola, but they come in like different limes, orange,
Jarritos. Jarritos?
Yeah, those are
Yeah,
super.
yeah.
Yeah, those.
Those are so good, dude. Yeah, I get those. I like the lime, the lima. But you know what I love to get with tacos is a Mexican Coke, like that comes in the glass bottle. It
Those
just
are so
has like
good.
a different taste to it.
I don't
It's
even
so
drink
good.
pop.
Like
And
I don't.
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. When they're
Yeah.
there, normally somebody from my family will order it, and I'll at least have a couple swigs of it. But yeah, it does taste different from a canned Coke here versus
Yeah.
the glass bottle is way better.
Yeah, for sure.
I just love a margarita at tacos. Like,
That's good too. But horchata though that's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's good to have with tacos too. Like it's either like we're talking about the jarritos, the Mexican Coke, or the horchata. One of those.
We're going straight up authentic tacos. I love it. We normally ask this towards the end, but since we're already completely talking about food and I'm already I'm hungry itself right now.
Yeah, I haven't had dinner, so I'm starving over here.
Right. Yeah, sorry, we won't keep you too much longer. We got a couple
No,
other questions
don't worry
for you.
about it.
But we normally our last question normally when we sign off is we ask obviously a food related question. And it would be we want to know what your favorite meal is, whether it's a homemade meal or from your favorite restaurant. What would be
Mhm.
that meal? And actually, you know what? I would actually like to hear your favorite homemade meal and favorite restaurant out in California or wherever you'd like to choose.
Yeah, you know what? I usually don't like favorite questions. Like, what's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? But I'll be able to answer this. So, and I won't answer with tacos. We've been talking about that nonstop. So, I like soups a lot. Soups. So, I like pho and ramen, and I like Mexican soups like albondigas is the Mexican meatball soup, and then pozole. I don't know if you've had
I've heard
pozole.
pozole. Wait, what was the
Pozole-
other one you just said with the meatballs? What was that called?
Albondigas. So it's just it's like usually like ground beef, with like spices and rice, and then make it into a meatball, and it's like in like a spicy broth.
Okay.
A little bit of spice. It's not like outrageous.
See, I would like
but
that.
pozole,
Pozole,
yeah, you should try it. You should try that. Pozole is one of my favorite soups and one of my favorite dishes. And my grandma, I think, makes the best pozole. And then my aunt kind of learned from her, so she's like almost on par. No pun intended.
I like it.
But I guess like my mom didn't really pick up the recipe that well. She doesn't make it that well. But that's like one of my favorite dishes, pozole.
Is that the one with shrimp?
No, I like shrimp soup too. Like,
Is it which one's was it menudo? Menudo?
oh man, those are all my greatest hits, man. Menudo too.
My wife man
I
loves those. Loves those dishes, and I don't want to put her on blast right now, but
she doesn't listen. It's okay.
Yeah, no, she does listen. Actually, she
Oh,
does listen.
shit, she does.
I'm in trouble tonight. No,
Ooh,
but
my bad.
she's insane. I love her to death.
Careful
But
what you say, Dom. Be careful.
One of the first well, I don't want to say that. Actually, one of the first times that she introduced me to her parents, absolutely love them to death. They're the sweetest people in the world. But they were making, I want to say it was either menudo or there's a soup. It's a cold soup with shrimp. Is that? Do you know which one I'm talking about? It's a colder,
It's
like a
probably
red
ceviche.
soup. Ceviche. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I don't like seafood.
Yeah.
Okay. And so my wife kind of decided to have me over at her parents' house and decided that she needed to go take a shower for 45 minutes and left me eating ceviche, which I absolutely do not like seafood. I like salmon and that's it. I do not like shrimp.
That's a true story.
And I literally I didn't eat all of it, but that is a kind of a sign of disrespect not to eat some of that food, and the culture. And I tried to eat as much as I could, but that was not my thing. I am not a soup fan at all.
That's not your jam, huh? Seafood.
No, but when you mention all those things, same thing. My wife absolutely loves all of those. For me, it's like stick to the tacos, stick to the mole, stick to the flautas. Anything with a tortilla and rice, I'm 100% in. But the soup wise, I know what you're talking about because my wife absolutely said loves those.
See, I love soup. It's cold here like 8 months out of the year. So there's nothing better than just sitting down, blanket with some soup. You're missing out.
You'd probably like the soup that he's talking about because she loves it too. But
I like soup.
I love soup too, but I'm more like cold weather though. Like I'm more of a chili guy. I love chili.
Oh,
Spicy chili.
Okay.
Is my go-to.
All right.
I love chili
in the cold weather. Yeah.
That's a big Midwestern thing.
It is. So
Chili.
Homemade, we got that. What is if we come visit you, where would you take us to go to a restaurant after we play around the golf?
So I heard you guys talking about the In-N-Out debate on one of the other podcasts.
Oh, okay. So
we can touch on that in just a bit. On that in just a bit. But you guys have also been talking about breakfast burritos, right?
Mhm.
If you ever fly into LA and you're looking for if you're looking for flights, you'll see a choice between LAX and Burbank. I don't know if you've heard of the Burbank Airport.
No, I've been to LAX, never been to Burbank.
So you might notice it now, like if you're checking out flights, if you ever come to LA, there's an option like to go to Burbank, just a smaller airport. So there's a place in Burbank called the Corner Cottage, which has the best breakfast burritos, man. I haven't found a breakfast burrito that tastes like that. It's just like all of the ingredients just come together, and it's like I think they put crack in that thing. Like it's just so delicious.
So good.
So they have like a line out the door, and you probably have to wait like, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes, maybe up to half an hour to get your burrito, but it's well worth it. So if you guys ever fly into the Burbank Airport, make sure you look up the Corner Cottage and you hit it up. It's a really, really good breakfast burrito.
I'm searching it right now. We're gonna come visit you though, for real. Like I think we would have an
Let's do it, man.
blast playing some golf and eating some food, drinking a couple cervezas. That's obviously part of it too, right? How far are you from like the LAX or Burbank Airport, or how far is Burbank from LAX? How far is that?
So Burbank is just north of LA. So I don't know. I don't know how many miles, but I'm
Depends
probably
on traffic,
about,
too.
you know how bad traffic is here, but I'm probably about 45 minutes to an hour away from LAX.
Okay, so not too far.
Yeah.
It kind of blew my mind how crazy traffic is when I flew in. I wish I could remember the name of the restaurant I went to. So we stayed near Pelican Hill Golf Resort, which is fantastic, but I never played the golf course.
Oh my God. Look at that.
He's looking up the burrito right now. That does look
Do you
tasty.
see it? Is it beautiful?
It
Oh
is.
my gosh.
Wow.
The prices are like stupid good too.
But let me warn you, their sauce is like super spicy. So either ask for easy sauce. Well, Derek, you said you like it really hot.
Yeah,
But Dom, either ask for easy sauce or on the side, so you can put just as much as you want.
Why am I the bitch?
No, you're not.
No,
but
I'm just trying to help you out, man.
Yeah,
I just want it to taste good.
he's just helping us out. No, I think we need to
So
make
so I just do it with easy sauce inside. That's it.
sauce.
Got
You
it.
got him so excited he's dropping his phone. I wanted to piggyback off something. I totally lost my train of thought, but
That's okay.
That's okay. Yeah, we haven't done this in a while, but I have some rapid fire questions for you. I have about 12 questions. They're pretty easy answers. They may get a little difficult towards the end, but I'm gonna fire away some questions and like to give your thoughts on some of these questions. So the first one we have is, you're in LA, so this probably is a no-brainer, but we got pants or shorts on the golf course?
Shorts.
Shorts.
Yeah.
Hat, bucket hat, or no hat on the course?
Hat. Tacos of the turn hat.
Absolutely. There you
Best
go.
hat in the
Throwing the
game.
plug right there. What driver is in your bag right now?
Oh, I have a cheap one. Uh, it's not no like $700 driver.
It's not a name brand drive.
What is it? A Tour Edge Exotics. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I've
like
heard of them before.
I was doing some research and they said it has like all the same technology at like half the price, but I'm not hitting it very well though.
Oh, okay. I'm going to get you a new driver then. That's what we need to do.
I know, right?
You need to learn how to hit it first, and then you get the new one.
Okay, we've already talked. We've talked about this, but we'll talk about it again. What's your favorite taco? Well, actually, we technically didn't. What's your favorite taco place?
So there's a couple places by my house. So over here there's a bunch of taco places, right? And people
I
say,
would
"Oh, this is the
imagine.
best taco spot," but I don't want to drive like an hour away when I can just drive down the street and get a taco that's just as good or pretty close to it. So there's a place called El Taco Llama by my house, which translates to Taco Flame. And then there's another place called it has a funny name, El Big Burrito Taqueria.
Big burrito.
So yeah, so that place I stayed away from for a while. Like, what kind of name is that, dude? I'm not gonna go to that place. Like, that can't be authentic. But then I tried it one time, and it was really, really good. And they have the best salsa verde like ever, man. I go there just for their salsa verde.
I love it. Okay, so right now, what is your favorite golf shoe to wear?
The Jordan 1 Retro Lows. Those are the ones we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
I have
you
the,
got the
shadows,
shadow
the
grays,
black and gray. Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you could,
so I have
if
those.
you
I only
could-
have. Go
oh
ahead.
no, go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead. What else you got?
No, I mean, I'm not. I mean, I would love to have a bunch of golf shoes, but I live in LA and have a wife and kids, so I'm broke, man. I don't have a lot of disposable cash to be buying a lot of golf shoes.
That brings me to my next question. Which pair do you wish you had? Any shoe, golf shoe.
Any golf shoe? I don't know. Honestly, I'm not a big sneaker guy, so I don't know.
Okay.
Like, no,
Put you on the
better
spot,
probably be
okay.
another pair of Jordans.
Sure.
They just
Absolutely.
make some nice looking shoes.
The 12s are really nice. I know I talked about
I'm
mine
jealous
last
about
week.
this. I kind of want. What are the blue ones? The Royal. They just.
Yeah, those are sitting around.
I might pick those.
$220, all yours.
Those are nice.
Not for $220,
No,
or not.
they're not. But they're. I just when I think of the 12, I feel like heavy, and they're not.
So comfy.
They're nice,
Are they like high tops?
No,
They're like
no,
mids
they're
almost.
lows.
Are they lows? They almost kind of look like mids. But
No,
they're
they
lows.
don't. They're
Okay.
lows. Don't listen to him. I have a pair. They're lows.
Okay.
Okay, back to rapid fire questions. Early morning golf or twilight golf?
Early morning. I usually do early morning
My
back
guy
nine.
Nelson.
Yeah,
that's my
yeah. So
guy.
I get up at like
This
5
guy's
in the
a-
morning.
Oh,
Five-
Oh, I heard
gross.
you're Dom. I heard you're not a morning person.
He's
No.
not. He's a grumpy old man, and he's not even old.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not even old. He's older than I am. We had a golf trip a couple months ago, and he's like,
You're
"Dude,
an
if we're
old
gonna
soul.
play."
He got all cranky.
He's like, "Dude, if we're gonna play two, we have to play 1 in the morning." And I was like,
in the morning.
"No, like one of the rounds has to be in the morning."
No,
No, no, no.
Where are you playing when in the morning?
playing night golf.
Yeah, we're playing night golf. He was like, "It has to be like 6 a.m." And I was like, "Yay!" Like,
Don was a sweetheart about it. He booked an early tee time. He was not happy about it though, which I don't understand how you cannot want to get up early and play on a golf and then be done. You have the whole day ahead of you.
yeah, I had
exactly.
to drive
And
for
like I said-
7 hours.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if so he was trying to say like this was his argument. We played and he's like, yeah, if we would have slept in, we could have teed off at like 3. I'm like, yeah, then we wouldn't have got home at 11 or 12 that night.
I said like noon.
I have a wife and a doggy. I understand your take because he doesn't have that.
Yep.
And I would be the same if I didn't have it. But okay, so I'm glad, Nelson, you early morning.
No,
tee
no, no.
time.
We're gonna. So my other argument is when we played in the morning, it was cold and rainy.
He's not
that
letting
was-
this go.
By the time it ended is when I would have liked to have started. Nice and sunny.
That was true. Nelson, you wouldn't believe this. We were playing
Okay.
up north Minnesota near his cabin. His cabin's beautiful. 2 of the nicest courses in
It's
Minnesota. But the nicest, the nicer of the 2 courses was in bad. The greens were in bad shape because we had a rough snow or it was a rough winter.
We had winter up there to like May.
Yeah, it was wild. But in any case, we played on Saturday, and it was 82 degrees, sunny. Couldn't have asked for a more beautiful day. The very next morning we played, and we played at, I think our tea time was like 7 o'clock or 7:30.
6:40.
Okay,
Mhm.
give or take. It was 42 degrees, and it was raining. So it was like a 40
Oh man.
degree difference, and on top of the rain and the wind. So I can understand where he's coming
And
from.
we ended at like 10 or 11, and it was like 75 and sunny. And I was like, wow, it's almost like we should have slept in and teed off at 10 when it was nice and sunny.
But the older you get, man, the you don't want to sleep in.
Oh, I fucking want
No,
to sleep in.
you want to get up.
Yeah,
early.
man. I get up so early, man.
Nelson,
I get
me and
up
you
like
will
at
play
5
early
in the
tea time in the
morning on the
morning, and then
weekends,
we'll
dude.
pick up Dom, and he can play our second round with us.
I'm okay with that.
There we go. But you know what
I
I
love
don't
it.
like about playing later in the day, like twilight? Like I don't like waiting around like to play golf. Like I get all antsy, like start like pacing around the house, you know? But that's the one thing I don't like about playing like in the afternoon or like twilight.
A lot of times that's like the only time I can play though, because like I'll work all day, and it's
Sure.
like I get kind of
Yeah.
excited to go play golf at the end of it. I don't have too many like days off. It's
Sure.
always like, oh, I'm off at like 6.
Trying to get him to the other side though, early morning. Well, I feel like once
No,
he
that's
gets
cool,
a,
man. We're all
once he gets a
different.
little older and realizes, then maybe I don't know. He'll grow up. No, I'm just kidding. Don. I'm just kidding.
Once
I'm
he
not
gets a wife and kids,
Yeah. Then he'll be like, dude, we got to get out early though, because I got to take care of this kid.
I gotta be back before everybody wakes up.
Exactly. I'm gonna be in trouble. What is your favorite golf club in your bag right now? You don't have to necessarily name the brand, but what's your favorite club you're hitting out of your bag?
It's my hybrid, my H4, another Tour Edge special. I just feel like every time I hit that club, it's like it's good. Like I don't get to use it that often because of the distance, but when I do, like every shot it's usually pretty good.
Sure. That is one club that I actually like to add to my bag.
Do you want to borrow mine?
It's a hybrid. I might have to borrow it.
You can borrow.
Yeah. Okay, so the rapid questions kind of didn't turn into a rapid question, so I apologize. But who is your favorite golfer? Could be from back in the day, could be from right now. Who would it be?
Yeah, you know what? I like Abraham Answer. There's that Mexican connection, but I like how the dude hustles, man. He's an entrepreneur. He has I think he owns his own
Tequila?
driving range. He has Flecha Azul tequila, Black
What?
Quail apparel,
Mhm. Yep.
Hombre Men
He's
cosmetics
all over
line.
the place.
He's
all over
into
the
a lot
place.
of stuff, man.
He's
So
an
and
entrepreneur.
he's pretty good too. But yeah, I think he's been struggling lately though. So those side gigs might be distracting him, or maybe it's the live golf controversy.
Well, yeah. Hold on a second. Okay, so we got a couple more questions. What's your favorite course that you've played so far?
Let's see. So unfortunately, I haven't played a lot of high end courses,
Okay.
but there's a place here that's called a little bit north of me. It's called the Rustic Canyon. It's
Rustic
really
Canyon.
nice. It's considered a lot of people hold it in high regard, I guess you could say, and it's
Sure.
pretty affordable. It's less than $100, and sometimes you can get some good deals. But it's like a links type course, and it's just
Ooh.
beautiful out there, man. You feel I feel when I go out there, I feel like I'm somewhere else, like I'm not near my house.
Sure. Rustic Canyon. I'll have to look that up. So is there a bucket list course that you'd like to play? Like off the top that
Man.
you put in mind?
Probably Augusta National, like that's ever going to happen.
Yeah. It's like everyone else's bucket list course. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the live.
Live.
So
All
the
right.
hot take: PGA or live golf? What's your thoughts?
So at first I was all PGA, but I'm starting to come around to live. It's because it kind of came out of nowhere, and I was kind of skeptical. I didn't know what their intentions were, but then I started reading up about them. It's an investment for them. At first I thought they're just throwing money away. They're what do they call it? They're trying to sports wash or whatever.
Yeah.
But I read about it, and they're really trying to treat it as an investment. All those weird name teams that they have, they're trying to build up their value, right? A professional team, like a baseball team or a basketball team. They're trying to build the value up of those teams. and then they can sell them off for like millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So when I read about that, I saw that they were kind of treating it as a business. So I'm coming around.
That's interesting. I didn't hear actually about that. The whole trying to sell off is like a team thing, but that's interesting.
I know they're doing merch for each team, which is kind of neat.
But to my my next point was that Will Zalatoris, for example, I mean, he obviously is a young guy. He just won his first PGA Tour win, 2 weeks ago?
Mhm.
Was it last week already? And so he's going to make plenty of money, but now he just had to quit because he has 2 herniated discs. And it's like, I do like,
Right.
we've talked about this before again.
I totally thought it was fake. I thought this was him moving to live, to be totally honest with you.
I don't think he is. I think he really is injured.
I thought about that too.
People said that about Cam Smith, though. They're like, oh, he's not going to jump. Well,
that very well, yeah.
He'd be jumping.
I don't know Will Zalatoris, so I'm not saying that he is or he isn't. But what my point is that this is kind of where it goes back to like football, basketball, baseball. These golfers have an opportunity where you win one tournament and you're made $1 million, 1.8 million, or $2 million, whatever it might be. But
right,
you have an opportunity to get a guaranteed contract somewhere where you're not getting cut. And yeah, there's apparently some stuff they haven't been talked about as far as if you win a tournament, they take some of it out of the whatever. But you're guaranteed money right off the contract. So like, even if you are injured, you technically could get that money, and you're not playing in nearly as many events. So there's definitely pros and cons. And I think, like I said, I think Live Golf has got the right idea for people that want to watch golf and for the actual player itself, and I only time will tell, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
we're at a crazy time right now, right?
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, you can't blame them for taking that money. That's going to set them and their family up for like forever, right? So you can't blame them for that. What was the other thing I wanted to mention about Live Golf? Totally lost my train of thought.
I mean, you got Rory, Justin Thomas, and Tiger really that are ahead of the PGA Tour right now. That's kind of holding everything together. But other than that, there's so many good golfers that have crossed over and joined Live. And like I said, I'm excited to see what happens in the future. I don't like the tension though. That is the one thing that really kind of bothers me.
That's worrisome.
Awkward. It's an uncomfortable feeling because it's like, I love golf and we want to grow the game, but and I feel like they're trying to do that, but at the same time, it's just like now it's almost separating more division. So hopefully it doesn't last too long, but we'll see. But it's just weird not seeing Phil Mickelson on the PGA Tour, right? And then now you got Phil Mickelson, like people hating him, and I mean he's shot he's like plus 30 or 40, and he's still getting millions of dollars from playing. I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, if I could shoot that.
The one thing I didn't. Yeah, me too. I'll take it, man.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say the one thing I didn't like though is that lawsuit. Like, although I think it was like 8 guys that went over to Live, but they still want to play in the PGA. I'm like, dude, I mean, you made your decision. You can't have it both ways, right? That's just my thought. Like, I didn't like that. I didn't like hearing about that.
Wasn't one of the lawsuits about like, because didn't the PGA suspend Phil for joining the Live or
That's
something
what they
like
were
that?
saying. Yeah, so I think
isn't that part of it?
So they were trying to compete in the FedEx tournament because they had qualified for the like points wise, and because they signed with Live, they were saying like, nope, they're banned, they're not playing. So like those like 8 people that had technically qualified for the FedEx Cup were trying to come over to the PGA and compete in the FedEx Cup. But the one interesting one was Patrick Reed, where he's
I've seen that.
file a lawsuit against
defamation, right?
Defamation on what's his name?
Chambly or something.
Chambly, yeah. Which is wild.
That's weird.
Crazy. There's a lot of money, so we'll see what happens. But honestly, Nelson, man, this has been one of the coolest episodes we've been a part of. We really appreciate your time. Is there anything that you want to mention before we hop off?
No, man. I've had a great time. Just want to thank you guys for the invite. It has been a great talk. One thing I did want to mention is the promo code that we want to offer to your audience. So Dom and I talked about this, and we do have a promo code. It's Save Par. So Save Par all together. I don't believe it's case sensitive, but if you're having trouble, just try all caps. But it's Save Par all together. So for the next 24 hours after the podcast goes live, that'll give you a discount of 20% on the merch site. After that, I'll leave it active, but it'll be a 10% discount.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. So we release it on
Friday.
So that 24 hours from Friday to Saturday, they we'll make sure to post that on our both pages and let them know. So, and I'm gonna order a shirt.
Sounds great.
To myself.
Yeah, I already have a shirt in my cart.
Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Also,
I actually wanted to mention one more thing before we leave.
Yeah.
Okay. Something I've been thinking about. Did you know that that the hot dog is actually a taco?
Oh, here we go.
So think about think about this. And Derek, I know you'll know about this. Okay, so the dog or the frank itself, it's chorizo, right?
Yep, chorizo. Yep.
The bun is just a fluffy tortilla. Folds to hold the meat just the same, and then you got the toppings, right? The onions, maybe jalapenos, cheese, chili, right? Chili's the beans. Guacamole you can put on the hot dog, and then you got the condiments, right?
We need to have a debate because people are calling it. Is it a sandwich or is it a hot dog? No, it's a taco.
No, it's a taco.
It's
a taco, man. I'm telling you.
I love it.
The ketchup is just salsa roja,
non-spicy salsa.
There's a podcast I like. There's a podcast that's called "Is a Hot Dog a Sandwich?" And all they do are food debates like this. Like they did one where it's like, is chili like a soup or is it more of a chowder? And that's an interesting argument.
I like that.
But yeah, they went over like, is a hot dog this? Is a hot dog that? So you might like that one too.
Nelson, I'm glad you mentioned that because I didn't even think of it that way. But you're onto something there.
I'm telling you, like
whenever
people
I see that next debate if it's a sandwich, I'm like, nope, it's a taco.
It's a taco, So golfers have already been eating tacos at the turn this whole time.
We're just trying to make the tacos a little bit better. That's all.
A lot of it better.
That's right.
Thanks so much, Nelson. I appreciate it. We'd love to have you on down the road again, and hopefully we can head out in that direction.
Oh, definitely.
And play some golf, eat some food.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If you guys are ever out here, hit me up. Hey, it's been a great time. And like I said, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Take care. Thanks a lot.
Have a good one.
You too.